October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, a time to honor survivors, a time to honor those still fighting, and a time to remember those we've lost. Joining me are three ladies from the community, many you already know. They've supported each other in business, and today they're supporting each other in a different way.
I know.
Allow me to introduce you to Julie Herrera,
Tiffany.
dealer principal for the Idea Auto Group, Toyota of Cedar Park, City Limits Subaru, and City Limits Nissan. Tiffany Sturman is the Chief Advancement Officer for the Williamson County Children's Advocacy Center. And Bridget Brandt is the Executive Director for the Leander Chamber of Commerce. Ladies, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Rochelle. Julie, this kind of was your idea. You wanted to kind of share your story. So I will just ask, why did you want to gather these ladies here today?
Well, listen, I think it's important that we take a moment to talk about a really serious issue that's affecting all three of us right now, breast cancer. And you know as well as I do, I really don't like to be on camera and I don't like to get too vulnerable. I've been a pretty strong gal my whole life. But I'll tell you, this is important and we needed to talk about it. We are all dealing with the different stages of breast cancer right now. And the main purpose today is to let everybody know that you have to address it and you have to have preventative maintenance and you have to see your doctor because it can happen to anybody.
So Julie is currently actively in treatment for breast cancer. Tiffany is the newest. She just met with her surgeon today. And Bridget, you're a breast cancer survivor, very newly to that phase, having undergone treatment.
Yes.
So, oof. As Julie just said, why is it so important to let folks know your stories and how you discovered that you had it?
Yeah, go ahead, Bridget.
You're already making me cry. Okay, here we go. So my story's really unique in that I am OCD, like pretty much anybody that knows me knows that I've got a little OCD, a little ADD, maybe a little of all the things.
And we love you for it.
And yeah, I mean, I use it for good.
Yeah.
So I am a little different in that I am on top of everything health-wise. I had my mammogram in June. I've had a mammogram every year since I was way before we needed them because I have a very good friend who was diagnosed at 24 years old, which is crazy.
Wow.
She's also a survivor still to this day. And so I had my mammogram in June, and in November, I felt something in just a regular breast check. I was one of the ones that grew up with the check every month, check in your shower. We had the little card. And so in November, I felt something and called my doctor and said, I think there's a lump in my breast. And ironically, she said, well, you just had your mammogram. I'm sure it's nothing. And I said, well, I don't know about that. I think that I want to do an MRI. And she said, oh, I don't know if that's necessary. And I said, no, I want to go ahead and do it just to double check. And thank the Lord I did, because in just that very short time between June and November, I was diagnosed with stage 1 breast cancer. And when I went to surgery, it was actually stage 2. It had already began spreading to my lymph nodes. So if I had waited for that mammogram a year, even the 6 months later, I would likely have been stage 3 and maybe even more because my cancer was so aggressive. And so I'll just say, I know people do their breast cancer, oh, I'm good, I just had one. Well, that doesn't necessarily mean you're good.
Yeah, and Tiffany has such a unique story too, because even now, you can't feel
the masses that have been seen in imaging. So I went for my annual mammogram this past July, and I have been called back every year for a secondary mammo. I have dense breasts. And so got called back again this year, but I'm used to it by now. And then sure enough, it progressed to the ultrasound, and then the lovely radiologist came in to let me know that I would need biopsies. And I think I had the chance to thank him, and I said, if you could have told me that I had breast cancer without telling me that I had breast cancer, it allowed me to speak to my husband and my mom and to say, we have some decisions coming forward to us. Now 4 biopsies later, 3 of the spots malignant, I know where they are. I know the clock facing time on them, and I still cannot feel them. And so it was only because I had my annual screening mammogram that, and again, from at least 1 year, but stage 1 with 3 spots.
Julie, the screening saved you too, right?
Yeah. So I'm not OCD when it comes to health. I think nothing's ever going to happen. I live in a world where I'm rocking everyone.
I got this.
I've never been sick, and it can't be me. I gave myself a self breast exam while on the couch watching a movie, and I was like, "Oh, this feels different," And then I thought, well, you're getting older, girl. You've always had breast, very dense tissue like you. They always call me back to do another, to do the sonogram one or the. And so I thought, well, this feels different. And it was a few months before I was due. So I thought, well, let me go ahead and call and make an appointment. So when I did, they said, yeah, have a seat because the doctor wants to talk to you.
Oh.
And I said, okay. And so she says, I'm going to send you for a biopsy. And I really there's an area that we need looked at. So I said, tell it to me straight.
Yeah.
I said, I can take it. What do you think? Is this just precautionary? And she said, no, I think it's something that really needs to be looked at. So that began the journey of all this.
Mm-hmm.
So you're currently in radiation.
That's correct.
Yeah, we have about a couple more weeks of radiation to go. How are you feeling?
I feel good. I mean, some of the little side effects, you get a little tired. I'm having Bridget gave me great advice. I called Bridget after I was diagnosed, and you said try to get your radiation treatments in the afternoon so that you can still work, and then you go in the afternoon, and then I get home early afternoon and put on my pajamas and rest.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you, we were all taught in business, be tough, handle it, get things done, make it work, suck it up. You can't treat yourself that way.
Yep.
If you're not healthy, you have to address it. And all the norms and all the stuff and all the ignoring is not the right way. And that's the purpose of today's communication. You have to put you first. And sadly, I have not put myself first for a lot of years. So I think people listening to this, listen to your bodies and don't miss an appointment. Don't miss your check-ins, because you never know what's going on.
That's right.
Yeah. And all three executives, all three very busy. It would be very easy because we schedule it yearly to just say, I can just, I got a meeting.
Yeah.
The point is take time.
Well, and all three really healthy. I know both of you, we do really all kind of, we eat right, we exercise, we do all the things. So it is an interesting thing that I think for me, I thought I'm kind of immune to some of that, even though I did go check and I did all the things. I really was shocked when it came back. Like, even being aggressive with taking care of myself in that way, I still didn't believe anything. I'm invincible.
I said
really
that
was
this
like,
morning.
that can't be possible. I'm sure that's
somebody else's results.
that can't be my results, And so even when you do, quote unquote, everything right, that
1 in
doesn't
8
mean you could be the 1 in 8. Yeah. I think that's a really very awakening thing for everybody. I don't have, and for most of us, no history, no family history, no BRCA gene, and so that doesn't mean you shouldn't be getting checked. It doesn't mean you shouldn't be taking care of yourself and doing all the things Julie referred to, because it's anybody.
Yeah. And the sharing of the story is just that, ladies. So, I mean, if you have your appointment today, this week, go.
Yeah,
if you've been negligent and maybe haven't scheduled because you've been too busy, but the point is just go get checked, because really knowledge is power. And then once you have that knowledge, right, I'm so happy to know you're through it. These ladies are just going through it. But the medical care is almost enormous and overwhelming, from diagnosis to treatment. So Julie, speak to that a little.
Especially when you find out today what you need to do.
And thank you. I mean, really, for being so vulnerable.
What we do.
Yes.
Guys, this is
Yeah,
what
this
we
is what we
do.
do. You got this.
I'll
You got
tell
this.
you, at first, when they first told me, I thought, okay, no big deal, inconvenience, I'll get it done, we'll get it scheduled, we'll get through this, right? What I wasn't prepared for was the emotional side of it.
Yeah.
I think we're all pretty tough cookies, but you're navigating, your surgeon, your radiologist doctor, all the nurses, all the appointments. Then you have the doctor for the blood work afterwards and the hormones you have to be on.
Yep.
I have never had so many appointments that are medical. So then you start feeling like, goodness, and then you see the other people that are at the cancer centers for treatment.
It's a lot.
And, you feel fortunate you're not there for something else that could have been critical, but there's no real preparing, Bridget, after you and I talked. And then I found out Tiffany, Rochelle told me about Tiffany. And this is the thing I love about women. We share and we help and we talk. I dialed you and said, you're going to be okay.
Yeah.
Here's what you're going to be in for. And hopefully some of it helped, I didn't know I was just going through it, but I didn't want you to feel alone because it's different and it is a roller coaster. It is a bit of a roller coaster ride. So.
It is.
Does it help knowing that you have women by your side that you respect and admire walking this journey alongside you at the same time?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
No. Oh, I'm going to cry.
Absolutely.
That's where, while you tear up, that's for me, having these women that, like you said at the beginning, Rochelle, that we work together in business and then to come together personally through this, because we all think that we're invisible, because we all have achieved what we have achieved, right? Because we work hard and we strive for the best and to be the best in it. And so to know that these other women who I respect so dearly and who are also pushing their own organizations forward in it, to be able to walk alongside and be like, how are you balancing all of the schedules? Because my gosh,
I'm crazy.
this is, overwhelming. And how are we keeping our organizations, intact? And, for me to communicate with my boss and our board and moving through those. And so to know now that I have these other women who not only physically and emotionally of the cancer diagnosis have this, but also professionally having to navigate our way through this has been incredibly helpful.
Bridget, this really started with Bridget posting about your experience.
Sharing.
So when Bridget posted, then I knew what she went through.
Yeah.
We hadn't talked about it. And I'm not a big social media person. Obviously, there's a need for it. But this is a positive. So when Bridget posted that and I reached out and we talked, then that's why I said, this is important, Rochelle. We got to talk about it. We do all kinds of things on social media for our companies and in the community. And this is a real one, and it needs to be discussed. So.
And I think right at the beginning we had shared that what we want people to get from this is that just take care of yourselves. Take time to get checked. We all likely know somebody who's either in it, just through it, about to go through it. So support one another. And it's awesome that all three of you are just so brave to share your stories. Anything you want to add in terms of, messages of hope?
Yeah, we're so resilient. Just put yourself first. Put yourself first.
Agreed.
Advocate for yourself. That's what you ladies both did.
Give me some love.
Yeah,
girl.
I take that love.
Okay. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.